This is a podcast called Weekend at Effy's that you can view on YouTube, listen to on iTunes, podcasts, Spotify, and other podcast sources, or maybe you're listening to it on the Patreon at weekendateffys.com. This week, I'm going to Pittsburgh, and next week I'm going back to Pittsburgh. We're going to talk about synchronicity. We're going to talk about political assassinations. We're going to talk about following your dreams, traveling, breaking down passport math, and we're going to talk about how much I dislike British men and how that's never going to change. So you're listening to Weekend at Effy's, and if you don't tell one person this week about Weekend at Effy's and comment, I can't believe what he's saying on one of the videos, grand curses could come your way, and I don't want that for anybody. I don't want that for you. Thanks for listening. This is a problem, Peter, is we're so deep in the technology that the technology, they're going to fight against us so that people can't see the truth within the use of the technology.
Yes.
Do you understand that?
Mm-hmm. I do.
It's why we have to get new. So I was watching our YouTube and it looks great. And we have to do Mr. Beast style screenshot grabs.
Mr. Beast is God. No, I don't know.
So here's the thing. Like you just like, I need the algorithm to tell me what it wants on that. Because the thing is, it's like, you know how when you eat apples, you don't like the red ones?
Yeah.
And like, it's because mini red apples are like garbage. You know what I mean? Like they're gross.
Yeah.
So like, I'm thinking about these apples in the fridge right now, Pink Lady apples, really crispy and tart, but they look like red apples.
Right.
So you're thinking, oh, it's just gonna be another red apple, but then you bite it and you go, oh, I didn't even know this is so good. So we have to trick them into thinking we're a red apple because that's when all the views come, and then they bite in and they go, this is actually quite tart.
Yeah.
This actually has a little crisp to it. We're going to trick them in with the sweetness. Some people love red apples, so they wouldn't be the popular apple. Now, what is this girl doing here?
She wants to be part of the podcast.
Yeah.
And is angry that she's not.
Yeah.
Could you guide her over to her directorial seat over there so she can just watch and not participate? She needs to be involved, but, only in a production capacity. Lucy, go sit down.
Come over here.
Lucy.
Come over here.
There we go. Come on, baby. Go sit down. All right, we're getting a little assist here. She just needs to be shown where her chair is.
Yeah, right here.
And we're getting a nice little sit down.
Perfect.
There we go. Okay.
Yesterday I tried to... We're doing kiss cards. You know about kiss cards?
Like the band?
No. Not like, not like the band.
Not like the band.
Which, like, I can't think of a worse band to have group sex with than Kiss. Sorry, side note. We're kissing the cards, right? And,
you don't want to get Peter crossed.
Oh, the Star Child. Or was he the kitty cat boy?
That was the drummer, I'm pretty sure.
I know the drummer, but it was like Star Child was Ace Frehley, but then like the name of the cross character was close.
I pulled that name out of fucking... You know where I pulled that name from?
Where?
The Tony Hawk Underground bonus level, because that is the only familiarity I have with Kiss whatsoever.
Wait, they were in that game? I don't even think I got the bonus level.
Okay, Tony Hawk Kiss level... Well, yeah, it was in Tony Hawk Underground. I am correct.
I'm trying to see the names of these. I don't know why this came up, but it came up to me. History and artistry are the first two parts of the Kiss legacy. Why was I thinking about Kiss?
Because I made... Oh, because Kiss cards.
Catman and the Spaceman. Okay, Kiss cards. So I put Lucy like in your room for 1 second, and then she ate a whole book, ripped it up in like 10 minutes of me doing kisses.
You know what book that was?
No.
Do you know who what Rob Bell is?
No.
He was the pastor of Mars Hill, one of those like big mega churches.
Okay, yeah.
And
I know.
He, I think he was stumbling in his faith. I
got you another copy. Do you need it?
I mean, it's
good.
Really interesting.
It's cheap.
So I think he was having like a crisis of faith and started going through and reading, like learning Hebrew and learning like the original translations of a bunch of words in the Bible. And as he started to do this, he started to realize that the concept of hell is actually not biblical whatsoever, and did this little exploration on his own to essentially find that like the afterlife is actually nowhere in Christianity as far as like what Jesus was actually talking about, and he was kicked out of his church for publishing a book on it.
Okay, well, where did Jesus go when he was left the cave?
That's actually more of a question for the Buddhists than it is anybody else. It's much more complicated.
I'm not bringing them into this.
Yeah,
They're always
you have
butting
to,
in.
though. You have to.
Was he a Buddhist?
I think it does not matter what particular system that you choose. I think they all ultimately go to the same place.
What was his name? Jesus Christ? I think he was a Christian, Peter. I think he was a Christian.
Okay. But anyways, Rob Bell is just a really interesting person because he's I would say a leader in the Christian deconstructionist movement. Just everyone that was deep within the church and is not ready to let go of the spirituality side of things, still wants that, but has no interest in the Christianity part of any of it. But still like owing something to the fact, because like you can't help the fact that you were born in a Christian environment, you know,
right?
Like, that shapes and structures and influences the way that you view the world, even if that's not your paradigm anymore.
Because he took mushrooms, or he just learned too much.
It just
it sounds like what dads say after they take mushrooms.
But I think you can get to that place without taking the mushrooms.
Just by learning enough Hebrew.
I think there's
to
enough
piss
like,
you off.
One of the human. So there's a human that I've known in my life that I think got it the most. That would say things to me where I would go, you know, you obviously take a lot of psychedelics, and they just had a lot of personal tragedy.
Huh. Okay.
And the way that they dealt with that personal tragedy built them into the person that they were, to where they had realized all of these things through that tragedy. So it's like the same thing with like, I guess the religion part of it is there's no like true path. You all eventually get to the same place, you know, which I think is beautiful. So it is interesting, like, because I've been thinking about this stuff lately, just with kind of like how wacky everything is, and so it is funny that Lucy would pick that book.
She ripped it right up very quickly with her little helmet on and doing her best to just cause a little chaos during the kiss cards, and those will be coming soon, needless to say. And Lucy did not get to kiss any cards, sadly. It's a little topsy-turvy out here. It's crazy. We could spend the whole podcast being mad, but I'm going to try not to do that because we need a little joy. We need a little excitement.
If you actually want to hear something in that direction, listen to the astrology forecast for this month, which you joined me on.
Yeah, I did join you on the astrology forecast. That is at the weekendateffys.com Patreon. Many of you are already on it. I would love to see more of you on it. Of course I would, but you're going to get a lot of great stuff too. And I joined on the astrology forecast, the weather forecast, and it Peter bummed me out, I think. But like, all right, here we go. Batter up the hatches. Like this keeps going. It's not an easy time for anyone right now, and we're gonna have struggles ahead, and we're going to have victories ahead. Mm-hmm. And that's why we're going to keep going and doing whatever we have to do. And that's why we're here today at Weekend at Effy's. I'm Effy, and that's Peter. And we are going to talk about everything that happened and how sometimes synchronicity doesn't always line up the way you want it to. Which, I think in the next few weeks, we're going to have New Christmas. You've heard about New Christmas?
No.
Everybody's getting a present.
Okay.
And we're all going to have the day off, and nobody's going to know what to do the day after.
Is he interested in Paddington?
He's
over
back
here for the first time?
Yeah, he's interested in everything. He's really coming into his most, what do you call it? Like not dastardly, but he's sort of like,
he's in his villain era.
Yeah, more of just like, what does this button do? Like all the time.
You think like he's in his cartoon villain era.
Right. And also a cartoon villain era that like thinks I have not one thought coming out of my head. And he just like, I don't know. It's very like he was looking at me while he was patrolling the yard this morning when I was like, we're done here. We're good. The chickens are fed. We're handled. It's time to come back. And he looked at me like I was crazy because he still had areas of the fence to go check before he came back in. Yeah. I tried to goad some chipmunks into getting out of there, but like after the recent tragedies, R.I.P. Roger, that was the rabbit's name that died. I named it just now, and R.I.P. Roger, and he is doing a great job of protecting the yard, but boy, he does require egg. He requires egg. When I go handle the business, is he joining us?
I saw there was a Reddit post that popped up that it was just a photo of a dog, and it said, "Please help, I've never had a dog that talks back." And it was a photo of Robert.
Yeah, 100%. That
And
dog.
it was just a bunch of people in the comments talking about his breed, saying, "Yeah, no, there's jobs to do. They must be done. You will have no
He's in
choice."
charge.
But yeah, exactly.
You got to give him something to do. You got to give him things to do, or he's just going to scream at everything that walks past the window. My new favorite thing, though, is going outside and the chickens are up there that way and kind of bringing his attention to it.
Yeah.
And he can't get to them.
They've been hanging out up there. They made a little dirt
They have a
bath
little
for
secret,
themselves up there.
nest up there. I'm going to go get some more of the poop out of there. I've been on my poop business trying to get my, clearance of the area, but there's a lot of poop. It's a poop world. But I will say, the yard is looking better and worse than it ever has. The chickens are kind of doing their own version of pruning everything. And I think like if we don't get rain soon, they're going to be mad because there's not enough worms left.
Yeah.
They have wormed out. It's worm time. I will say the flies have subdued a little bit, but we got to get a new fly. You got to constantly just get new fly catchers, and that's part of the game. Now, if you want to help us get more fly catchers, you can support the Patreon, weekendateffys.com. If you're poor right now, there's still a lot of ways that you can help us out that are tremendous, okay? Like going to the Substack, weekendateffys.substack.com. That's going to be a full newsletter.
All the new people. That last one that we put out, we had a bit of an explosion there. So
I wonder what that came from. I wonder what did
I don't know.
I don't know. I was promoting it a bunch on weird places. So
But
maybe,
it's also just like maybe Substack is doing better than it's ever been doing,
good.
I don't know. The thing that I keep hearing from people is apparently there's a way that you can set like a few settings on your Twitter timeline to where it is only people that like your actual timeline, like people that you follow.
Yeah.
And just how incredibly dead the entire place is.
I believe it. It's hard to get anybody to look at anything these days, and especially there. And it's not because I think some of them are still there. I just think they're very particular about what they choose to show to people.
Yeah.
So, and even Twitch has started doing, like let's say I go stream wrestling, instead of having everybody whose views naturally are going to be lower, like below me, they're just mixing everybody in. So like you have a channel with 8 viewers, a channel with 20 viewers, a channel with 3 viewers, a channel with 1,000 viewers. All mixed like as one of just like we're equal. And I think they're finding that like people are staying on the content more when they're not just forced into the content. You know what I mean? And I think I know it increases, morale for streamers to have people be able to find them so they're not just out there in the universe. So check out the Substack. It's really well put together. I got to brag on you. I had people complimenting it on Twitch, which I showed you. And also weekendateffys.com does have a free tier. You're not going to get much on it, but it will show us that you're out there. And we like to know that you're out there.
We're making some changes, and I'll be throwing some freebies that direction as well.
I think that's smart. I think it's good. Give people a preview. I'm always trying to show people what they're missing over here. But as creators right now, we're trying to hit it at all places that are convenient for people to find it. We're not putting everything everywhere so that you have to watch everything. We're putting everything everywhere so that you can find what you want from us at your comfort level. So share the podcast, comment on the podcast, leave a comment on the Patreon, retweet, reshare. All that stuff is incredibly helpful, especially now. We're going to be bringing up some old footage too, but finding these algorithms and streams, I think we've got some wonderful conversations in here and some wonderful information. And I'm trying to figure out a few things like you said, to upgrade with the Patreon that will make things flow a little easier too. And we're getting there. But until then, your support is needed. Thank you so much to all of you who are signed up for the Patreon, weekendateffys.com. And we are going to take questions, I think, from some people now, if that's still a thing we do.
Yes, indeed. We have a couple, as in 2 questions this week.
Perfect. Patreon people, submit your questions, whatever you want to know. It can be stupid, it can be silly, it can be fun, it can be serious, and we'll try our best to answer it here.
Whatever you want. Okay. This first question is from Rob. What is the furthest you've driven in order to satisfy a food craving?
Ooh, see, I think I cheated this a little bit because I'm constantly in places where I can like meet those food cravings. But I can think of one particular instance when I was junior or senior year of high school. Me and my good friend Robert would take his Beamer from Greenville to Asheville, which is not that far of a ride, but at the time when we were like 16, 17, it was like more of a trip than you would do without telling someone.
Mm-hmm.
And so we would drive to Asheville and get these. They had vegan Chicago style hot dogs up there. And also Asheville was just like weird and fun. And I'm pretty sure we could get away with like smoking bowls and doing Asheville sort of things. And sometimes there would be concerts or whatever. But a lot of times we would literally just drive to Asheville about an hour, get these hot dogs with sweet potato fries, dressed up Chicago style, which is the best way to have a hot dog. There's no other way to complement the way that meat tastes than with those specific toppings and buns. And then we would drive back home, and it would be about, a little 4-hour day. And really, and back then you couldn't like locate the phones, I don't think, as easily. So you could just kind of lie to people and be like, oh, well, yeah, we'll be over there in like an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And then you leave Asheville and you drive really fast back home, getting hot dogs. But like, traveling as much as I do, I constantly get to go to those places where that, food is satisfied. And like, I've traveled a very long way to get there. But I don't have to do much car traveling anymore to do that, especially in Atlanta where there's so much good food. Like, I feel like there's not like, what's a food item that you can't find in Atlanta? You know what I mean? Like the other day I was just like thinking about how much I want to eat more jollof rice, and they have like traditional African jollof rice here that you can get. And I didn't get it because I ended up getting something on sale, but it was there and available, and that wouldn't be possible in times gone by,
Very true.
It's like they say about Napoleon Bonaparte. He may have conquered the world, but I've seen way more buttholes than he could ever imagine. Just like even accidentally, you know what I mean? Wake up, 10 or 12. Check your Twitter feed. Who knows? So whatever you did, Napoleon, great for you, but I live in the time of plenty digitally, and I live in the time of plenty across cultural globalization. And if I want jollof rice, I'm going to get it. And conquering countries is like, that's passe anyway. So like, who are you, Napoleon? What did you get for that? Syphilis? Loser? All right.
Okay. This next question is from Heather. Excuse me. They say smoking kills, but it cures salmon.
I think it cures us too. I think a smoked person, you can't talk about that on the air. They're going to come find us, right? When I did this is the thing about like, I know we have an audience, but I also think we slip under the radar. And so I know historically as a button pusher, I always want to do things where I'm like, I wonder if they'll even notice that happened. Like when I made a rap album that was just sampled beats with my friend John Tommy of Disney songs, just in an effort to get a cease and desist, which I did not get. And I felt very vulnerable that they didn't even care enough to be like, oh my gosh, did you sample all our sick Disney songs? Fuck you. We're going to shut this down. Yeah. So I feel like I've constantly lived my life kind of chasing that cease and desist, which like we're almost a year away soon from my last cease and desist. And I just want to say, I'm not speaking on it anymore. I learned my lessons. And guess what? There's a lot of dumb shit around me in my business. And you know what I'm going to focus on? All the cool shit that I'm doing. All the cool shit that we're doing over here, instead of focusing on how dumb everybody else is. Because y'all, I'm seeing it. And I'm understanding why people historically are not watching wrestling as much anymore. And it's hard to say, because it's trickle down. You know about the trickle down economy? Economy? What is it?
Economy?
Trickle down economy.
Trickle down economics.
If it's if it's dumb shit at the top, nobody ever is going to see what's down here in the subcultures, right? So we have to overcome the perception of wrestling by not pointing out how they could do things better. We have to stop helping losers. What we have to do is overcome distribution efforts and put the coolest shit out there. And I think I have a lot of really cool shit coming up. Like, I'm thinking about all the cool shit on the calendar. I'm going to be fighting Shotzi Blackheart next week. I don't even know what I'm going to be doing in Detroit yet on the 12th, but I do know what I'm doing on the 13th. And I just want to say there's no reason this match should happen. And once they announce it, I'm sorry that they're going to have to answer questions to make this match happen. You'll see it when it's announced. I'm hoping it's announced soon. I'm hoping he kept it the same because I said that's actually a really fucking hilarious match. We should definitely do that match. And it's going to be in the beautiful Indianapolis Park there. The sun sets. The last time I was there, the first time I ever wrestled there at the beginning of COVID, I fought Alley Cat and I knocked her out with a shining wizard knee right to the fucking side of the head. And then after that, we became a tag team. This was 2020. This was June of 2020. And then after that, we went back. I wrestled Joey Janela and we wrestled in the heat of heat. And I remember two wrestlers getting in a particularly big fight that day. Neither of the wrestlers matter at this point, about somebody getting blown up in the ring. And he was like, dude, it's so hot out there. Shut up. Like, I'm not unprepared. It's 100 degrees. And then I got out there with Joey and it was so hot out there. And I remember just thinking like, nah, just hang with him. And he wanted to go like 20 full minutes. He wanted to go 20 full freaking minutes out there because he hadn't been wrestling as much on TV. He'd been doing like 5-minute loser squash matches. You wonder why people aren't tuning in. When they tune in and you're doing squash matches, that's like not. That's
What's
not
a squash match?
It's like, let's say Peter just signed to a big contract. Peter comes out. Peter does like 3 moves to a loser with no name who's a jabroni who's going to tweet about making their TV debut just to showcase you to the audience as a threat in this function. But it's just like not interesting. Like the air of conflict is not there. You know what's going to happen. It's just like a showcase piece. It's like when they do a Super Smash Brothers trailer for someone and they show all their like ultimates. And it's just like, look what they can do. But it's like, as a live audience member, like it's just not the most interesting thing to do. As a wrestler, it's not the most interesting thing to do. So I was in that position where Joey really, really wanted to get some wrestling in. And so I think we did like a ton that day. I think he had me kick out of something big there. So now this match returning, and I'm hoping will still be for the GCW Championship. This will be on the 13th. But this weekend upcoming, I'm going to enjoy wrestling. So by the time this comes out to the mainstream, I will have probably won the Enjoy Supersonic tournament. And it is one of the rare cases where I'm going to be in Pittsburgh 2 weeks in a row. So we're about to talk about my trip to Pittsburgh last weekend. And this was a surprise visit because I ended up doing an advertised show in Cleveland, which is not Pittsburgh, but I did a surprise show in Pittsburgh on that Thursday. I'm going to be returning there this weekend to win a tournament in Pittsburgh at Enjoy Wrestling, which like, I don't think people understand the influence Effy has on some parts of wrestling. And I'm not, listen, all the Enjoy team works extremely hard, but this is sort of built off of a side group of people who were not living in Florida, who were involved with Fest Wrestling and helping out with a lot of Fest Wrestling, who sort of put their own promotion up and on. And who was the queen of Fest Wrestling? It was Effy. So now that they're having this tournament to, I guess, you know, with Mikey Montgomery, who's the champion in the tournament, my assumption is that the finals will be for that championship, which I am looking to win. I'm now coming to kind of stake my claim back on this part of wrestling and these people in wrestling to show like, yo, don't forget the influence here of what Effy has done in the punk rockification of wrestling and creating more spaces and moments for people to be wild and out there and tell queer stories and have space to do wrestling that doesn't have to fit a commercial mold, that also has good production quality on it. And I'm excited. The team is excited. We're all excited because Effy fits at Enjoy. Effy enjoys himself at Enjoy. And now I get to come back and just like wreak mayhem throughout the whole show in a tournament. That's kind of incredible. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, what's going on the rest of these months, you know? And here's the thing. At the end of the month, I leave the country again. And now after this trip, Peter, I have to actually get a new passport. After this trip, when my visa is stamped, I will not have any more visa pages to stamp in the passport. If I was to return to Japan, which I'm planning on doing, I would have to have 1.5 blank pages. I do not have that. Even going to England, I think I need 1 full blank page for the stamping, for the sticker, for everything. I think I have 1 left. 1 or maybe a half and a half somewhere. So we're going to see how this plays, but I definitely have to get a new passport. Here's my question. Can I sell the old one? If I like have...
I think they do like a void stamp through it, and
right,
then
so
you
it's
can
not
do
like,
whatever you want.
Right,
with
yeah,
it.
once they do the cut.
Yeah.
But it is kind of like a sick museum piece because it's literally like all of the visas and pictures of me over time and all of the things. Like if you had asked me like, what's your dream as a kid? You asked me like 13, 14. I'd say to have a passport like that. It's fucking incredible. It's very cool. And it's very magic to know that like I have been making it my job to do this, and it has been creating more places and things to do, because at the end of the month, I'm hosting the 3rd Big Gay Brunch in England. Do you know this?
Wow.
The 3rd. This is the 3rd time we are bringing Big Gay Brunch to England. This will be the 13th overall Big Gay Brunch. But if you include the Fight Forever block and the Big Gay Thanksgiving, this is technically the 15th event that I have promoted as an Effy's Big Gay event. I am hoping soon to be able to move in a direction where some other people are overtaking a lot of the responsibility of it. But as it stands now, it is me, and it is the promotion I'm working with. And that promotion is TNT Extreme Wrestling, hosting Effy's Big Gay Brunch 3 in Liverpool in the UK. And what seems to happen is there's a lot of people who get new opportunities. There's a lot of new faces. There's a lot of cool people popping up on the scene that people may not have known about, because I'm a maverick renegade booker, and I find the things that entertain me, and I'm usually correct about what's entertaining. I try to take into account everybody's thoughts. But what keeps happening with these Big Gay Brunches in the UK is like and I'll use British slang here, some twat sticks his dick in the pot and tries to include himself in a way that is not beneficial to me or to the gays on the show. The gays, theys, girls, thems, everybody. It doesn't work. The first time it was Tate Mayfair's. I don't know if you're familiar with Tate Mayfair's. Last year was Charles Crowley, which was fantastic. And we can talk about Charles again in a minute. I hit him in the face with a big old dildo. But now I see again, and you can see these recurring casts of characters that I can't get rid of, which you think, oh, you're like powerful, Effy. You can get rid of any, you can politic. No. Tate Mayfair has now brought this dingus in, who I've actually met before, Dr. Darwin, and says they want to fight me at the Big Gay Brunch, which, number one, like, we all have curiosities, boys. I get it. We all want to try something new, but this is like not the place to do it. I got Charles Crowley so huffed up on poppers in that match. He wasn't ready to be that gay. You know, he thought he was gay because he likes theater and acting, not as gay as he thought. And so now, you know, with Tate coming back after I've beat him before at Big Gay Brunch with this dweezil Dr. Darwin, here's what I'm doing. I think the fans deserve to see all these new talent and superstars, and I have so much planned on the card. Dark Sheik will be there, Shea Monet will be there, Adam Bolt will be there, Sonny Kiss will be there. All of these people will be there, as well as the Rainbow Rumble returning, as well as a scramble for a title shot at TNT that I'm allowing to happen with management. But let's make it a tag team match then, and you bring your boy Dr. Darwin, Tate and Dr. Darwin. If you see these two guys, it is... You ever play a gay or European? This is like, I hope it's not gay. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's leaning that way, but I don't want them on our team is kind of the vibe here. And so I've got to... Are
you talking about when you finally do the Google search and you find out they're married to a woman and you go, huh.
Yeah. Like, you know, guys who spray their ponytails a lot, guys who wear velour. Like, just, I don't know. Like, it'd be better for you if you were gay, but we don't need you over here. So I've got a secret partner that I've got lined up that is, I think, going to blow the roof off. I think we're going to get a little crazy. And if they want to step up and have that match, that's great, because what the fans deserve, besides all the new talent and a great gay-centered show and a wonderful party night out on the town with Effy and the queers, is to see two straight boys who stuck their nose in somebody else's business get their ass whooped and get beat in the face with dildos. I think that's marvelous. I wish it wasn't even the main event. We should probably open the show with us just destroying them, me and my secret partner. And I think it's going to go perfectly well. And, Tate, be careful who you trust, because when you've got guys in your corner like Dr. Darwin and it gets dark at the end of the tunnel and you're really having to face down what Effy is capable of doing, especially with a secret tag partner, guess what? You're going to be begging for your life, and your boy's probably going to already have exited the building. So Big Gay Brunch 3 at the end of the month. So excited to be back in England. The third Big Gay Brunch. Many, many times I've been to England, but the third Big Gay Brunch, and technically the fourth, because the last one was a 2-night event that I've now just truncated down to 1 night for the sake of everyone. Get ready, get set. It's going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess. Now, after that, though, I'm going to Alaska. Anchorage, Alaska for the first time. And I don't know what I'm going to be doing up there. And I don't know all the legalities. And I'm sure I am giving a false hope to, what is actually there and what is actually for me as a tourist to the area. But y'all, let me eat some weird shit. Okay? Like, point me in the direction of the things I'm not really supposed to eat that you're okay with me having. All right? I'm at a stage in my life where I am surrounded by irreparable damage and harm to our planet. I am surrounded by horrible news coverage of how much pollution and toxicity is going to ruin the next set of decades ahead of us. And we really are hopeless beyond all means of creating an Earth that's survivable for as long of a period as we would hope. So now I'm kind of in the position of like, I'm not doing much harm, but I'm trying to just like check out some weird stuff to put in my body while I'm here. So if y'all got any recommendations for weird shit I can eat in Alaska, I would love to hear them. I would love to hear, about where I can go. We will be in Anchorage, which is a pretty big metropolis as far as it goes for Canadian wilderness. I mean, I guess it's not Canadian. Did we give it to Russia yet? Alaska, are we good? We're good?
Bravo. I mean, come on.
It's America. It's America's tail. Is that what they call it?
Yeah, Fievel. He went west.
Yeah, Fievel goes west and then a little north to get to Alaska. I'm really excited. I've never been to Alaska. Brett is kind of obsessed right now with GCW crossing off every state, which like I really enjoy. Like, I'm not really a person. Someone asked me on the stream last night when I was building that Lego set, like, who do you really want to get in the ring with? And I I don't want to kill motivation for the Effy character or people getting behind it, but I truly don't care. I want to just wrestle cool places. And I'm not even talking about like, oh, I have to hit all 50 states. Like, that's just a part of a cool thing. I want cool ass venues. I want cool ass backdrops. I want the lighting to be ripping. I want it to be streamed and available. I want there to be as many cool backgrounds for Effy existing and going to these new places and new states. It's always like a new, fun, cool spot that I get to be seen at performing at. So that's what excites me these days, not the person I'm in the ring with. Like, it excites me to get in the ring and to be a collaborative person, but I've done it with so many people of so many statures and so many fames that like I enjoy it whoever it's with. Like, whatever comes across my way as a challenge. Me and Shotzi are going to be fighting for the first time in a long time. The first time, we fought as us, and I think she beat me. And then the second time she fought as a nun, and I was Sheriff Hopper. We've talked about that many times. She beat me. So this would be the third time of us meeting as artists. And you're like, oh, well, are y'all going to do some of the same things? I don't even know who I was the last time I wrestled Shotzi Blackheart. I can't even remember the headspace I was in as a human being, much less what she's gone through as a performer, coming off of the WWE contract, coming off of being signed, coming back out to the Indies and defeating Matt Cardona, forming this new rivalry with Killer Cross and Scarlett Bordeaux, doing these crazy things. Like, I think she's in a completely different headspace too. And so like, yeah, it's sick to wrestle Shotzi, but also if it wasn't Shotzi, if it was someone else, if it was anything, the unique challenges that brings on is what fascinates me, not necessarily who that person is. Now, I am going to jump back to Pittsburgh as I leave on this point because I got to wrestle someone who I've wrestled many times in MV Young. And, we had a long conversation. MV Young was on a few Big Gay Brunches, probably will return to them, was a big New York City guy, was all over the place. And then kind of during the pandemic has rebuilt this sort of empire in Pittsburgh under the 880 banner where they do these Thursday night shows where, we worked out a nice little Effy wants to show up and do the work kind of a deal to make this work. And I can always do that because it's my friends and it's great. But I did 2 shows for them. And one of them was their debut in Cleveland for a brewery that actually paid for us to come in during the, like Labor Day Street Festival while the people were out there. But I got to wrestle Envy Young at his castle in his place. And he was sort of like, yo, like I'm just sort of here in Pittsburgh. And I was like, yo, you've trained and built this like whole group of people who are hard workers, who are new storytellers, who are queer, who are not queer, who are, doing hardcore, doing lucha, doing crazy stuff. And you've built a fan base that like will kind of follow you everywhere and is seeing the work you're doing. Like that to me is cooler from where I'm standing than just running around and always having to be on someone else's thing. Like this thing you control, you can pick where it goes, you can pick what you do with it, and you can put on the shows you want to put on. And so to get to do like a surprise GCW championship match on a Thursday night as I roll in unannounced, because listen, all respect to Enjoy Wrestling, I was like, yo, I'm in the tournament next week. If anything, surprise pop me out there. Then I'll put over the tournament too. And then the people who are there are like, holy shit, we can see this guy again next week. Because some people would be like, well, you're in you're in the same place twice. I believe in the product I put out to the point where I go like, if you see it and you find out I'm going to be near again, I'm pretty sure you're going to come. Like, I'm pretty sure I can get you to do it. And we'll see how over Effy is in the Enjoy Room next week at the Vellum Tap Room on Saturday. But I'm very confident in my skill to do that. And I'm very confident in my skill to go out and have a main event match on a Thursday night for the belt with my knee wrapped up with somebody who is bound to just like toss and throw me around. Envy Young's a big, strong boy. We did have one conversation, the Crush Gals, who they've done some pictures for me before in Pittsburgh. They were like, hey, can we do these like pre-fight action shots of you and MV? And MV hadn't filled me in that this was already like a part of the schedule, and it was so funny. He comes to the back and he's like, yo, can you like do me a favor? And I was like, what he's like, I told him we do this. And I was like, no, it's sick photos. Let's go do these photos. I'm always surprised when people are down, like surprised that I'm down to participate in things. Cause like, that's how I've gotten where I've gotten, is by consistently participating.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I love participation is the key to everything. If you continue participating, something that you participate in will continue to find more participation. Like, if you're just sitting around waiting to be a part of things, it doesn't work. But if you're constantly participating in everything, things move along, as it turns out. So there's your secret. We've uncovered the secret of life. Continue participating. We opened that up at what? Minute 36, we opened up that everything is based in participation. But Envy Young has fought me many times, and we have beat the shit out of each other many times. And I had so much fun getting to main event that show. And it's so funny to me too, how like I was unannounced, but I know how people talk. And so I think like in the year 2025, being able to be a bit of a draw for a show as a rumor, as like, there's no pictures, there's no this, nobody's tagging themselves with me. Just they're hearing I might be in town early and I might be at the show. Because Envy was like, I don't know if people are going to, like, it's kind of unannounced, it's this, there's a lot going on, and they don't know you're here. And I was like, maybe they do though. Because I think people just like kind of, and we got out there and it was pretty filled up in that building. It's a small building, but it's a sick place that on Thursday nights, like they're doing tournaments and they're getting people ring work. And I think that's the hardest thing right now, especially with a lot of promotions trying to do this dumbass thing where like none of us are over enough for this to work, but like y'all try to just build your company out of the people that are there. And so then they can't work at other places, and they're trained through that place, and it's great, and they're trained really well, but then they only work with people they're trained with. They only work shows they're familiar with, and then they're not allowed to go work some other shows. And it's sort of like, yo, anywhere that you can get ring work right now, people should be out doing it. And if somebody has an open place where you can not only like get ring time, but also get narrative time and audience participation, because I'm a person who now I'm not going to spend as much time in the ring just training or just doing those things, because a lot of my training is spent in front of crowds wrestling consistently all the time, trying new things. And that is a privilege for a wrestler to have that much time in the ring that I do, and that much comfort in the ring in front of a live audience, because that's where you're going to get your legs on things. And so like, it's just so sick to see that 880 Wrestling is doing as much as they can. I've wrestled in that building when it was a no ring show a few years ago, and they didn't even have a ring in there. Now they have rings and light setups and monitors in the back and cameras, and it's streamed live to Twitch. And it's like, it's very cool. It's very well done. It was very exciting. And then, you know, as the earth is disappearing into itself based on reading the news, I'm chilling in Pittsburgh on Friday, and I had a lovely day, Peter. I hate to say it. Am I allowed to say that?
You're of course allowed.
It feels
you're
like
allowed
these
to
days.
Have good days.
Feels like these days you can't just share the joy.
Come on.
You gotta preface the joy. No, it was joy all day. We went and actually got breakfast. Me, Nick's Wild, and Envy Young went and got breakfast, and I had French toast and waffles. I don't even know what this place was, but I just want to say, like, living in Atlanta has fucked my brain up because, like, I think I know what breakfast should cost, and then this like little ass shop in Pennsylvania is like, you can get 2 entrees and unlimited coffee, and plus tip, it's $24. And I was like, we're wrong down here. I'm just like, you live in this infinite brain rot of living in cities, going to cities, and then being in airports. And I have people are like, inflation is bad. And I go, it's worse than I could ever imagine. I have no concept of what it's being inflated from because I've just been inflated for the past 7 years. My whole life is just inflation forever. And that's what it's going to be. That's what we're dealing with. And, you know, getting to have luxuries like a big, full sit down breakfast with coffee service for $24 and I tipped her well, like, kind of wild. You should charge more than $7 for a plate of French toast. I'm just like, for me, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You should charge $12 for a plate of French toast. This is me once again. Like, I'm the worst case because I hate inflation. I'm against it. Protect the people. If you're a small business owner, you should be able to charge $12 a plate for French toast. Oh, I saw that video of I Love McConan the other day, and he was a chef now. He's like out of the industry. Club going up on a Tuesday, and people are like trying to clown him, and I'm looking at it going, man, that looks so secure. He was like, yeah, just cook. I'm in this kitchen now. Sometimes I do out of town cooking privately for people.
Honestly, good for him because
he seems so peaceful.
I was in the I was shooting a bunch of rappers at the time that he was coming up. And I made the decision around that point to essentially abandon that part of my career just because I had a feeling about where everything was going. And it was just like, it was so much, because I specialized in music photography when I was in advertising school, and then basically got out and realized I was never going to make a single dollar on this shit.
No. Nor are the people making the music, as it turns out.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just the whole thing just felt like incredibly unstable. So to have someone that's like from that era like pivot as well and be successful at it.
And he wasn't like, I can't believe I have to be a chef now. He was like, no, like, I'm good. Like, I don't. If you want me to come cook for you, that's it. And I was like, oh my God, there's a future after. I made eggs the other day, Peter. They were so fucking good that I should have quit my job as a wrestler. Do you understand? You had the eggs. Did you have the queen's eggs? The fluffy ones?
You made something the other day that was just on a whole other level.
Was that the pork?
Mm-hmm.
What did I serve that with?
I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what.
It was fancy as fuck.
I think we've got a way out of this. And I think if I clean up the poop in the yard anymore, we go back to our original idea that you had of opening a boutique restaurant in the backyard. This is me gaslighting Peter into thinking it was your idea.
Is that fence back there not working, the electrics?
What do you mean?
The plug.
The plug?
I can't get the lights to turn on back there anymore.
That plug was working. And it's not now? I wonder what happened. Maybe we have to reset the thing. Is there a breaker?
Yes, maybe. I don't know.
Let's go take a look.
Okay.
It was working. It wasn't that recent, but I did do a chicken stream out there and it was working.
Okay.
You're talking about the one on the porch side or the one on the fence side?
I'm talking about the one on the fence side. What's the one on the porch side?
Porch side has one and it works.
No shit.
Yeah.
You're going to have to show me this.
I'm going to have to show you this.
You're going to have to show me this. Okay.
But I also, now that I'm thinking of it, I may have run it from the fence through the lights out the other side of the lights. Okay. I don't know. I did something weird, but it worked.
Okay.
I don't know. We're going to have to go do a little reset on that. After that, after we had breakfast, you know what we did? We went on a walk through the graveyard, the Allegheny Cemetery. And this is how I know, like, it's not that I don't have friends. It's that, like, the only person who shares my interests that I really want to hang out with most of the time is you. But these are like people who share my interests, and they're like, should we all go on a nice walk through the cemetery this morning? We're like, yeah, of course we should.
Yeah.
And there's just like 4 grown-ups doing our walk through the cemetery. Now, here's what was crazy, because you know me, I love a zoo. We do need to go to the Atlanta Zoo again with those passes. I'm going to go get my library pass. The animal sightings were incredible. We saw turkeys, which I'm telling you, Peter, turkeys are gigantic. Turkeys are way bigger than you think. Turkeys are middle ground between emu and chicken. Like, it's a big bird. Seen turkeys. Gophers, hilarious. Not usually around a place where there's a lot of gophers, but I'm guessing Puxatawny fills up that way. Isn't that kind of a Pennsylvania thing?
It's a groundhog, right?
Isn't that what I called it?
A gopher?
Aren't they the same?
I don't know.
Groundhog? It's definitely a groundhog, but I thought gophers and groundhogs were the same thing.
Marsupial expert.
Either way, there was a lot of deer sitting in front of graves, which, like, if you were on Tumblr in 2009, it would have killed. The deers in front of graves names deal was so good. We didn't see any snakes, which, like, that's good. It's good not to see snakes. I'm trying to think. We saw some other animals, too, maybe. There's just a lot of animals out. Very fun. We saw some cats. Pittsburgh's very cool. We went to the Pittsburgh Goodwill. It was just a very chill day overall. But then we had to go to Cleveland for the street festival. And my knee, I think I'm going to look back and be like, listen, it seemed irresponsible to wrestle on my knee. But also the way I did it, I think I'm going to reappreciate motion and the way I use motion. And I think I'm also using it as sort of a PT, the way I'm wrestling, because I'm being very careful, but I'm still using it at opportune moments. And I think it's actually helped heal it stronger.
Okay.
And maybe I'm just making that up, but as it heals and gets better, I'm feeling all right.
Okay.
I've been doing my stationary bike too. Okay. It's not fun. Ugh. It's the problem is you can still see the sack. We got to fix the sack. Might have to drain it one more time.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
I didn't know what sack we were talking about.
No, God, no. The bursitis sack, the bursa sack is what I'm talking about. We got to Cleveland, and this was so the guy who set the show up with 880 Wrestling is like a huge wrestling fan at this brewery, and he was in the Battle Royal, and it was awesome. And he just fully dressed like fake Hulk Hogan and did a bunch of sick bits. And for me, it warms my heart to see when people are like, yeah, I just want to like pay for a whole show to do this bit, but also knowing that like it's the purest form of like I've gone too deep on the deep end of what I am as an entertainer. When this guy's like, yeah, we'll do a wrestling show so I can do some Hulk Hogan shit and feel cool. And I'm like, I think this guy's better than me. I think this guy's actually his heart's in it more. You know what I mean? Like it felt, I don't know, it re-inspired me to have a sick match. And it is also, once again, like very inspirational to be in front of a crowd that doesn't really know you. Like there were definitely some Effy heads in the audience. Effy, you announce Effy, some people are going to show up, and I love that. Sick to have people that are in on the bit, but also having people that like don't have any idea, and then I still get over because just like I know how to work a casual crowd, and that's what the job is. And sometimes that's not what they think the job is, but the job is getting people invested in the fun and entertainment and getting them to buy into the fun and not necessarily showing them the most complicated thing they've ever seen. So me and Nick Wild had a wonderful title match. Now here's where I'm going to get to the meat of this whole thing, Peter. Originally, the last time I did a 2-for deal with MV Young and 880 Wrestling, the second show we did of the 2-day deal was outside at a brewery. And on that very day, there was a historic political announcement. There was a historic attack on our democracy wherein I finished the match and they let me know that a would-be assassin has tried to take the life of our president with a gunshot at one of his rallies, which many people have said.
He was the former president at the time when this happened.
Oh, but he was running.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, he was running.
There was a 4-year gap between.
You still call them Mr. President.
Trump 1 and Trump 2.
Okay, but this is pre-Trump 2, and this is when they shot at him, when he was gonna, and they said, they didn't kill him. And I said, what? They said, well, they shot at him, but they didn't get him. And I said, I'm gonna lose my health care and rights to marriage. And I was right. That's on the table now. We're right at that point. And so I just thought to myself, well, if I'm doing another 2-day sprint of shows for MV Young, and the second show that I'm doing is an outdoor brewery show, maybe, just maybe, you know that Paris Hilton song about the stars are blind? I want to redo it, but it's the stars will align, okay? And I was hoping that we would get to that synchronicity point where the second time I come back, after the kick out at 2 last time, it would complete the cycle. And at the second show at the brewery, and I'll tell you what, we were close again, all right? I was refreshing the phone. It wasn't looking good. We hadn't heard from him in 7 days or something, after 7 days, whatever. And then he did, in fact, pop up on Tuesday and was not actually mortally wounded. And I want to say this to everyone in Pittsburgh. I'm back this weekend. And no, it's not an outdoor brewery show. Yes, it's a little different, but I know a lot of witches that can cast a spell under conditions that aren't perfect, right? And I'm not saying that has anything to do with anything here. I'm not saying that. I'm not wishing anything to happen. I'm just saying it seems like if I keep going back to Pittsburgh, one of these days, God's going to pay it off. God's going to pay it off for me. But no, at the end of this, it was all run down, and he's still the president. And, you know, even if he's gone, I have to remember that these people are still going to be in power. There's still a real problem at the core of our nation. Eventually, you know, when my pending charges drop after my probation ends in May, I'm going to have to make life-altering decisions, you know, and we have to see how we root out the corruption going forward, but we're not there yet. It just would be nice to have a win. You know what I mean? It'd be nice to just like get one for the good guys, you know? But no, they're pumping him. They're pumping him up. Got to pump it up, you know? That's like they said in the substance. Who do you think is going to be his substance? Who do you think he's going to slide into?
I think it's Baron.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know. They've been seen at the same place, though. That's the problem.
I think he shoved a Horcrux in there, you know, just split his soul out.
Ugh, it's rough times. I had such a good time in Pittsburgh, though, and it was the first time I've just.
Why is
been
that boy
like,
not playing basketball?
Have you seen him try to walk up the stairs? They're not really the most coordinated. You know, like the Habsburgs, how they had them fucked up faces because they kept fucking each other's brothers and sisters. There's something Habsburgian going on here where that boy, he's so fucking pigeon-toed, he's not going to be able to get up the staircase any better than his old 80-year-old daddy. You know? You think Melania got pregnant with that? Or is he a different one?
I can't.
Is he an Ivanka boy? I don't know.
I don't care.
It doesn't matter. It's over for the USA as you know it, but we can create a new America that's we can just let other countries run our country. Like globalized. I think it'll be sick. I think it'll be good. It was the first weekend I really missed Bebop. I miss him all the time, but I was like, I really got to go see this boy. And he's you know, he's growing up. And his dad's not there all the time. And it's very hard for him. And so you may be thinking, does that mean I should peel back the travel a little bit? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying he needs to get his shit together, Bebop, so that he can come on the road with me. Because you actually right now with my Spirit membership gold, you could ride on the plane for free with me. And you're a service dog. You know, don't research that too deep. Like legally he is for my PTSD because I got attacked at work, if you didn't know. So we could get him on all the flights, but the problem is he'd be barking at the beautiful ladies. Okay. Every time we pass a beautiful lady, he's got to bark at a beautiful lady, which as a man, not interested in women for that, like very interested in what women have to say about things, their thoughts, their emotions, you know, where they're standing, but not for that. It makes me look like I'm after the women for that reason. So until he gets it together and accepts his dad for being gay, we're going to have to pretty much stop letting him get on the plane, which he's never done, but I think he would be pretty good at.
Would you be able to take him on the plane proper with you? Like, would he sit in like your seat?
Yeah.
Oh, what a nightmare.
Yeah. It sounds like an absolute nightmare. And also like, I think about when I get to the show and I definitely would not be paying any attention to where he's gone, except for the fact that I have an air tag on him.
Oh, God.
Is this a bad idea, Peter?
It's a bad idea.
Should he just stay here? He doesn't need to travel more. He just needs to miss dad. Oh, But he's so cute.
He's so cute, but it's just how he is.
He's
will
crazy.
Turn. He will just decide that something is one way, and it's hard to get him to deviate from that.
I just want my son to come to work with me. What if he becomes a better wrestler than I am? What if Bebop's gay and he can have Bebop's big gay brunch and I can just watch it at home? And that would be, and my bones could
Would it be
heal.
dog wrestlers?
Yeah, dog. Well, no, he could fight humans.
Okay.
Interspecies wrestling we would do. Shout out Interspecies Wrestling, which is a real company. They used to have like animal characters and they would fight and then they would do Lego death matches. Really cool crew over at Interspecies Wrestling. Shout out. Yeah, but Bobby, I don't think he's ready yet. And it's hard knowing that your child's just not, he's not ready to function at that level.
He's a good boy. He's just not that good of a boy.
I think he heard you. Let's talk about our dreams for the end of the year.
Okay.
What are we hoping for? Damn. That was too long of a silence. We have to start dream. All right, well then here's our homework, y'all. We're going to make dream lists for next week, okay? For your dreams. Yeah, it's right around the corner, okay? But you know what? If we stop dreaming now, they're taking everything from us. Joy, dreams, healthcare. We never really had it. Marriage, we sort of had, like we had it for a minute. We're not going to let them take our dreams, okay? No more thought police. Wasn't that what Radiohead was talking about?
Yeah, your favorite band.
Yeah, dude, Radiohead.
They're about to tour again.
Why would they do that? In a time like this? What are they going to do? Take an airplane to every show? Get out of here, Radiohead. What is this? What are you, Taylor Swift? She has to tour. They deemed during COVID that she is a, what do they call it? What kind of worker? When you have to work in COVID? Essential. She's an essential worker.
Yeah.
Think of what would go wrong in our country if she wasn't touring.
Well, I mean,
y'all think you're
Taylor
her?
Swift has the fucking GDP of name a country.
I don't know about you, but I thought that didn't she endorse Kamala? She ain't shit.
She hangs out with fucking MAGA people.
She ain't shit. And Radiohead ain't shit. And Oasis? Go home. Oh, I can't believe the brothers are being kind again. That's a bit they've been running for years.
Like British musicians.
I don't like British men.
You don't.
I really don't.
You really don't.
Sorry.
You don't. You only liked Robbie Williams when he was a monkey.
I only liked Tom Holland when I thought he wasn't British. Now it feels like he's doing a voice.
All right.
Are you wrapping me up?
No.
Are you playing my Oscar music?
Keep going.
Are you playing my Oscar music?
Keep going.
Thank you to everybody for listening. Weekendateffys.com for the Patreon. Please rate our show. I don't care what you rate it, but rate it. Participation is the key to existence. Share it, comment it. Let us know your thoughts.
Comment and say, I can't believe he would say that, so more people listen.
Oh, yeah. Everybody do. Okay, actually, here's your other homework. Write your dreams down for the year. This is the selfish one. Just make it seem like we're saying some crazy shit here. Even if you just throw an emote on there, it helps so much on those clips to put that out there. Because think about this right now. There's someone out there who's never listened to Weekend at Effy's, who doesn't even know who Effy is, and your emote could send it in the direction to where they don't commit an act of domestic terrorism because they hear my voice for the first time. They go to a wrestling show and change their mind about how they're going to vote because they see me with my ass out with pantyhose on. So just think about what you're holding people back from when you don't comment, oh my God, can you even say that anymore on videos of us? Right?
Yeah.
I think it's genius.
Yeah.
Guys, this is going to work.
100%.
And if you didn't listen this far into the episode, well, then you're going to miss out on why everybody's doing this now. Too bad. Weekendateffys.com, weekendateffys.substack.com, Weekend at Effy's on YouTube. And we're going to get new thumbnails, and they're going to be like, you're going to be like, what the fuck are they doing? And it's a bit. We're doing a bit. Kind of. We're kind of bending the knee.
A bit is something you mean.
When is this show where I'm on a game show with Urkel coming out?
I don't know.
Where I teach him how to wrestle. I don't know. We got to wait for that.
Yeah.
Hopefully soon.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you all.